In today's video, I'm going to discuss 5 players on the New Orleans Saints offense that I think not only are going to ball out this year, but absolutely flourish under new offensive coordinator Klint Kubiak. Welcome into Saints Now by Chat Sports. As always, I'm your host, Girouard. Be sure to hit that thumbs up icon, subscribe today for more Saints content. But let's just go ahead and kick things off. So I wanted to start this video by kind of just setting the scene here so we can kind of understand what's Klint Kubiak done so far? What should we expect as fans this upcoming season offensively? So Bub Means at practice this past weekend was saying that Klint Kubiak demands perfection. Both him and Andrew Janocko, the new quarterbacks coach, have been very vocal and loud throughout practices. They were able to get a lot of time spent with not just the running backs, not just the wide receivers, but they also have got a big-time focus on the quarterback position, which I think is so important. And on top of that, his practices have been described as very precise, very demanding, high-tempo, very fast, detail-oriented, and urgent, which, is pretty different from what we've seen in the past under Pete Carmichael. It kind of feels more like the Sean Payton regime, if you will, where he's kind of fired up and not really messing around offensively. So let's get to know what's kind of the expectation and what should we look for in Klint Kubiak's offense as Saints fans this year. So some tendencies for Kubiak. He's going to be running a West Coast offense, and there's going to be a lot of wide zone schemes, meaning you're going to be able to bump it out wide. You're going to use the entire field sideline to sideline, not trying to work strictly over the middle. And you're also going to be doing a lot of zone blocking rather than man blocking. So if you guys need a little bit more of an explanation, there's a lot of other stuff out there on social media and on YouTube. But he has said in previous interviews, and this isn't any mystery, that he wants to be grounded and run the football. And not just run it effectively throughout the game, but on first and second down specifically. And you're also going to get to see a high usage of play action, a lot of pre-snap movement, a lot of things that could be distracting to a defensive player and that can throw them off of their assignments. And you're going to be seeing a lot of efficiency in the red zone. He's making a big-time emphasis on that. We don't just want to make it to the red zone. We don't want to get inside 20 yards. We want to put up 6. We're not settling for 3. We want to be a dangerous team in the red zone, which I think is absolutely awesome. So there you have it. That is what you can expect, and kind of Spark Notes version of it under Klint Kubiak for the Saints offense this year. So before I get into my 5 players that I think are going to ball out, I just got to ask the simple question. Are you excited to see the new offense under Klint Kubiak? Just give me a simple yes or a simple no in the comment section. If you're saying no, just keep it to yourself, because how could you not be? I mean, this is going to be so much fun. It's going to be way better than what we saw with Pete Carmichael. All right, so I want to discuss my 5 Kubiak's ballers. The first one that we're going to talk about in today's video, running back Alvin Kamara. And I know a lot of you at home are sitting around all last season being like, man, when are we going to get that Alvin Kamara pop-off game that's just going to set the dominoes effect down to just have him be a dominant player? Well, Klint Kubiak is really excited to work with Alvin Kamara, and he's even gotten some time one-on-one with him. Here's what Kubiak recently said about the Saints running back. I think it will be really fun to work with Alvin Kamara. He's got a great skill set that we can do a lot of things with. So it's up to us as coaches at identifying those things and him putting in the work. He's been in multiple times talking about his office, up in my office talking ball, getting some one-on-one time with him to teach the offense, getting to know him a little bit. But he's a very bright player, and I'm now figuring out how bright he really is. It'll be really fun to load his plate up. Now, I will say this, you really can't question the ability in terms of the athletic talent that he has, and you also can't question what's going on in between the ears. Alvin Kamara is a very talented, a very good, and a very smart player when it comes to his time with New Orleans. But there is no mystery. We need to see his production be reignited. I still believe that he is a good and talented player, and I've seen flashes. I've seen the moments where he can still be good, especially these past couple of seasons. But there is no arguing, there is no denying the production it's been underwhelming, especially when you look back to 2020, like how good things were, not just in the air, but on the ground. Things were absolutely stellar. And then you get to 2021, and it's like, well, the rushing production's okay, but the passing production dipped. That's fine. Well, then in 2022, the rushing production's still all right, but passing production really took a hit. And then on top of that, or not it took a hit, but like the touchdowns, like he still got more yards, but you see what I'm saying? It's been like up, down, left, right. Like you can't sit here and tell me he stinks and he's washed and he's a bad player. It's been up, it's been down, it's been kind of all over the place. And last year, it was just, quite honestly, very, very underwhelming. But my number 2 baller for Klint Kubiak is going to be Derek Carr. And just to kind of put a quick little pin in Alvin Kamara, I do think that he will get back to a positive, great football player, but I just want to see it be reignited. But I want to talk about Derek Carr and why I think that he's going to be a baller here in just 1 second. But I got to give a big-time shout-out to Chubby's Shorts. We talked about them in a recent video, and they're honestly such great clothes. I've been rocking Chubby's Shorts and their swimsuits and their shirts ever since I was back in high school, which is actually hilarious. My little brother, he rocks Chubby Shorts. He's a college student right now. I mean, I'm telling you, if you want to be the freshest looking guy at any event throughout the summer, you got to get some Chubby Shorts. And the sky is out. That means the thighs are out, baby. Chubby's makes clothes that make every moment feel like a vacation. Some people wear tuxedo t-shirts to show that they like to party. But for me personally, I rock Chubby Shorts, swimsuits, and shirts by the pool, at the bar, or when I'm kicking it back with some homies. Crack open a cold one and make any day feel like a Saturday when you use our code CHAT. That's code CHAT to get 20% off when you visit chubbyshorts.com. Now, I'm a dude who's got tree trunks for thighs and a really, really good-looking dad bod, but Chubby's is perfect to fit my unique style and fit my unique build for my body type. With a variety of high-quality, everyday men's apparel, you can pick from the most comfortable shorts you'll wear all summer to swim trunks, pants, polos, and even button-down shirts. That'll have grandma praising how well you clean up and your girlfriend wanting to get down. Embrace the spirit of endless summer with Chubbies, the ultimate destination for bold, vibrant, and outrageously comfortable clothing. For a limited time, Chubbies is giving our listeners 20% off your order. With our exclusive code, use code CHAT. That's code CHAT at chubbyshorts.com. The link and information is in the comment section and description of this video. Get some Chubbies and let the weekend begin. So, here's Klint Kubiak in a recent interview that he did with media. Got some time to talk about the Saints quarterback, Derek Carr, and here's what he said. We're going to start small, get good at something first, and see where it goes from there. You've got to get there for sure. It's a process for sure. You have to have that identity first, so you have something to fall back on. He's a quarterback I have a lot of respect for. Just in my short time with him, he's been really impressive. Number one is his intellect and what he can handle and what he can carry upstairs and in between the ears and the noggin and the cranium, if you will. Those guys going out, throwing and catching right now. He's in really good shape. It's really important to him to be a great player, and it's important to me and our coaches that we give him a successful system that he can build some confidence in. Now, in terms of my personal opinion, there were a lot of issues with Derek Carr, and to be fully transparent, there's also a lot of really good stuff with Derek Carr last year. But for me specifically, consistency was the issue. There was a big-time lack of consistency. We wouldn't really get to see full 4 quarters of good play of Derek Carr. We'd get to see a first quarter be really good and the last 3 be terrible, or 3 bad and then 1 good, or 2 bad, 1 okay, and 1 amazing. You see what I'm saying? It was just very, very inconsistent, and it was very frustrating at times as a fan. But I do think that Klint Kubiak's system will be more quarterback-friendly. It'll give him more options and more quick options and more check-down options. And easier progressions to read, and it'll give him a sense of fluidity, if you will, so that way he can know if my guy right here isn't available, I can go here and hit my dump off, or I can hit this check down, or I can go out wide and hit this player on this route. So that's kind of what I think is going to happen under Klint Kubiak. But I want to ask you this question real quick. What do you think about Derek Carr? Do you like him being the quarterback? Do you dislike him being the quarterback? Like, what are your thoughts on Derek Carr as the Saints quarterback specifically? I don't really give a shit about what happened in the time with the Raiders. I don't really care about what is anything with the Raiders. I want to know about the Saints. So what do you think about the New Orleans Saints and Derek Carr? And really quick reminder, while you guys are sharing your thoughts down in the comments section, go ahead and hit that big red sub button to subscribe for more Saints news, rumors, updates. We're going to be live tomorrow. The schedule for the 2024 NFL season does come out tomorrow, and we'll be breaking it down the second that it drops for the New Orleans Saints. So be sure to subscribe, lock us in, and turn on your notifications. That way you never miss a video. So I know a lot of you guys are going to be excited about this one. Taysom Hill, I think, is going to be a big-time what's the word? He's going to be a big-time winner out of having Klint Kubiak be his offensive coordinator. So here's what Kubiak did say about Taysom Hill, saying he's really excited to work with him. Obviously, a lot of respect for him as a player, having played against him, having seen him on film, and I think that I think that will be a fun part of the offseason as well, getting to work together with Taysom Hill specifically. Sorry about the I can't talk today. I'm having so many issues, and that's just on me. I'm not gonna lie, full transparency. I picked up a dog this morning. I'm fostering it, so I'm kind of like all over the place. But yeah, I have a dog at the apartment. But let's get back on track, and let's get Taysom Hill back on track. I think that you got to give Taysom Hill more rushing attempts. You got to give him the ability to carry the ball. And I also do think that you need to give him opportunities to earn yards after the catch. I think that Taysom Hill is a really good football player, and one of his best skill sets, in my personal opinion, is the yards after catch ability. And fun fact, the New Orleans Saints are 21-5 when they give Taysom Hill 6 or more carries in a game. So if he carries the ball, if he rushes the ball 6 times or more, Saints are winning 21 times and losing 5 times. Like, give him the frickin' ball. That's all you got to do. Utilize all the skill sets. You do everything. Like, this is a player who is genuinely one of the best just overall football players. I'm not talking about he's not an amazing passer. He can't rush the quarterback. Honestly, he probably could. But I don't care about any of that other stuff. Taysom Hill is one of the best football players in the NFL. I will argue with anyone who wants to go toe-to-toe about it. And if you disagree with me, go ahead and talk to a brick wall, because that's the only person that's going to listen. I think that Taysom Hill has every skill set to be really, really good again. And it's not like he is a player that you need to use every single play. But use him and use him right. That's all you got to do. It's really not that hard. Another player that I think is going to ball out under Klint Kubiak is Taysom Hill. And a lot of people are saying, Trace, you're butchering his pronunciation. Trace, you don't know how to say his name. Well, I'll tell you what. Go listen to him talk in an interview. Listen to him say his own name and come back to me after that. But I do think that Taysom Hill is going to be a big-time perfect fit in New Orleans. And I think that this situation is actually perfect for him because he does have experience in a wide zone scheme, which the Saints will be running. We talked about that earlier. He did a lot of that at Oregon State. And in 2023, PFF gave him a 91.3 zone blocking grade, which is really damn good considering that's what you're going to be running a lot with Klint Kubiak. And he excels in run blocking. And I just kind of go back to that whole, we want to be grounded. We want to run the football. We want to be efficient with the ball on the ground, especially in the red zone, especially on first and second down. And I think that is a really, really good thing for the New Orleans Saints in 2024. Considering in 2023, the rushing offense was just terrible. It wasn't good. I'm going to show you guys some advanced stats here in a second, but the rushing offense was not good. It was uninspiring. It was boring. It was dull. It was ineffective. And to be honest, pretty much non-existent. Yards per rush, the New Orleans Saints were the second worst in yards per carry last year. Let that set for a second. They were 21st in rushing yards per game. But they had a 42.82 rushing play percentage. So almost half the time they were running the ball. But you were only getting 3.6 yards per carry. You see what I'm saying? It's just not good. You didn't even average one rushing touchdown a game. And you don't need to average one rushing touchdown a game. But when you're not scoring a lot of points in general, you probably should score a few on the ground. So I really think that Talise Fuanga is going to be a big-time beneficiary of Klint Kubiak, and we're going to give a lot of praise to number 75. And I'm so excited to see him be a part of this offensive line. But I think that another big-time baller is going to be Chris Olave. And I'm going to just say it right now. All 5 of these guys on your screen are going to be massive, massive beneficiaries of Klint Kubiak. But I do think that Chris Olave specifically has a really special reason. Because last year, there was a lot of times, not even just last year, in 2021 as well, or 2022 as well, excuse me, there was a lot of times it felt like Pete Carmichael wasn't designing plays for Chris Olave, and it felt like a lot of times Pete Carmichael was trying to draw up plays for Chris Olave, but they weren't really working, or the execution wasn't there. It wasn't a good play drawn up, and I do think that Klint Kubiak is going to be able to take the skill set that Chris Olave has and scheme that up specifically to allow him to make plays, to allow him to catch balls on the run, to allow him to make some yards after catch, because he has a nice ability to do that as well. And the production over his 2 seasons in the NFL, it's been good, guys. Like, I know his quarterbacks have been Andy Dalton for the most part and Derek Carr. But at the end of the day, guys, like, this is a player who's putting up freaking work with mediocre and aggressively average quarterback play at best. And I do want to put this one chat stat out there. I think it's pretty cool. Chris Olave, last year, he won 263 routes, which means he had 263 routes where he created enough separation to be considered open. So that ranked number 13 across the entire NFL. So there's no doubt that this guy, if you just give him the opportunity to make some space and to create some space and to get the ball, he's going to win the route. So you got to be able to give him routes that are going to be effective and suit his skill set and that are easy for Derek Carr to read and, throw to. And then on top of that, just let him do the rest of the work. Chris Olave is a damn good football player. You don't really have to overthink it with this one. So shout him out for me, Saints fans. Who are you most excited to watch on the offense in 2024? Is it going to be a quarterback? Is it like a Spencer Rattler or Derek Carr or Jay Cannon? Is it Jamaal Williams or Kendre Miller? Is it A.T. Perry or Bub Means? I want to know what you guys got to think, or I want to know what you guys think down below. And don't forget to subscribe, and y'all stay golden. See you next time.